In Cyberpunk 2077, there are a variety of types of gigs that could spawn in a district. Sometimes you'll be stealing something, other times you're just taking down a target. And by default, you need to drive up to a gig's location to find out which type of gig it is. Or if you want to make this a lot simpler, just talk to the fixer of that district and it will reveal all of the gig types in that district. You're probably not properly finishing off many of your enemies in Night City. Have you ever noticed that after a gunfight, a bunch of the enemies on the ground will still make your crosshairs glow red? That's because they're still alive and this actually matters. If you take out an enemy by shooting them in the leg or arm, or even finish them using a certain quick hack like Short Circuit, they won't die, they'll just be downed on the ground, incapacitated. And this does matter. To get all of the street cred, experience, and sometimes even bounties from enemies, you do need to finish them off completely. And you could easily do this just by dealing 1 damage to them while they're in their downed position. Or alternatively, just focus on landing shots in the chest or head, and this will immediately kill them during combat. On PC, you can hold the tab key to open up your scanner, or alternatively, just tap the caps lock key and your scanner will toggle on, so you don't have to hold down any keys, it'll just stay on until you hit caps lock again. This makes net running in combat encounters, even while driving, a lot easier. You're able to double tap a movement key to dodge or dash in a certain direction in Cyberpunk. For example, hit the W key twice and you'll dash forward, but now there's also a rebindable dodge key for PC players. By default, this is going to be your left control key, but you can assign this to anything to make dodging or using that new dash ability far simpler. One pretty unique mechanic in Cyberpunk is during some of the dialogue, you're actually able to quick save mid-dialogue. Most often this is usable when you're just standing there talking to someone and not properly in a scene. So if you don't know what option to choose, you can quick save mid-dialogue, then load the save to choose one of the alternative options and see where that path takes you. Simply hit F5 on PC to quick save and then F9 to quick load, or in consoles, just open the pause menu and hit Y or triangle. If you're replaying Cyberpunk and finding yourself continuously skipping through quests you've already done, do note there is a much faster way to skip through dialogue. By default, it'll just skip 1 line at a time. But in the settings menu under gameplay, you can switch this from just skipping 1 line at a time to being continuous. So you can skip through dialogue much more rapidly by skipping multiple lines at once. During some quests, this is legitimately handy in getting NPCs to more quickly get to their destination, as you can skip the walking process. And we do have a couple of tips to dramatically improve how well you do in combat, but first, how about a tip for your own life? Did you know that you could turn this Ridge wallet into a Hennessy Bronco Velociraptor? Well, you can, thanks to today's video sponsor, Ridge. I've been using a Ridge wallet for over a year now, and I have never had so much interest in my wallet. This thing has room for everything, 12 cards and some cash, but even with that capacity, it remains super slim. The days of a bulky dad wallet are behind me, thankfully. There are a ton of unique styles to choose from, and even some optional AirTag attachments so you can make sure you'll never lose your wallet again. And if you pick up the Ridge key case, you could even save up to 30% off your order if you buy a wallet and key case together. But what about that Hennessy Bronco? We're just running an awesome promotion right now, where without spending a cent, you can enter on their website for a chance to win a Hennessy Bronco Velociraptor or 75,000 cash. And since you're watching this video right now, you're in luck. For the last 9 days of the sale, there'll be even larger bonuses. For every dollar spent on the site, you'll be entered, but right now you'll get twice as many entries for each dollar. And custom Hennessy products like this one will get you up to 1,000 entries, but thanks to the new bonus, you can even get 10 times that. But act fast, as this promo ends on September 30th. And I'll even hook you up too. If you go to ridge.com/JuiceHead and use code JuiceHead, you'll get 10 bonus entries at checkout and 10% off your order. So act quickly. If you've ever considered getting a Ridge, now is the time to jump in. If you're sick and tired of enemies tracing you while quick hacking in Cyberpunk, I have a solution for you. If you're not familiar, when uploading quick hacks on enemies in Cyberpunk, most of the quick hacks in the game will add to your traceability. And typically, after the first quick hack is uploaded, enemies will start to triangulate your position. You'll see this bar loading, apply more quick hacks, and it'll load more quickly. And once they do reveal your position, all of the enemies on the network will know where you are and start attacking you, making both stealth and net running very hard to accomplish. But thankfully, there is a way around this, at least for the mid-game. You can pick up tier 3 of Sonic Shock, and it seems like this does have to be tier 3 now. Tier 1 or 2 will not work. You can find this at pretty much any net running vendor and simply upload Sonic Shock first, and this will disconnect that enemy from the network. So now you'll have free reign. No matter what you upload, you will not be tracked, because that specific enemy will no longer be able to interface with the other enemies nearby. The annoying part here is you must upload Sonic Shock first on each and every enemy you hack, but it only does cost 4 RAM, and this is the true key to being a stealthy netrunner in Cyberpunk. As of right now, I haven't found an alternative method to do this. And if If you are becoming a stealthy netrunner, make sure you peek. Obviously when behind cover with a weapon, you can peek around to get a better angle, but at the same time, the vast majority of your targetable area is still behind cover, and some perks and attachments can even buff up how much damage you deal while peeking from around cover. But what you may have not known is you can also peek by hitting the scanner button to remain behind cover while quick hacking. This is really handy for a stealthy netrunner. You can kind of just peek your head out or around a corner and then get a good vantage point on the enemies ahead of you. And without giving away any spoilers, trust me, both of these mechanics are going to be things you heavily use in Phantom Liberty. Many of the missions in Phantom Liberty have a far greater emphasis on stealth, and although I can't show you the gameplay of it yet, I used Sonic Shock and peeking quite extensively during my time with Phantom Liberty. Ricochets are also super strong in Cyberpunk, and most people just don't realize this. You're now able to see ricochet trajectory by just aiming at the ground, and enemies will even be illuminated green if those ricochet shots will land. There are perks and weapon mods to boost up how effective ricochets can be, but also they're not dodgeable. So if you do have one of those enemies with a Sandevistan that is constantly dodging your shots, simply aim at the ground and you'll easily be able to finish them. If you're tired of waiting for your car to drive up to you after calling it, simply jump in the air while you call your car and it'll spawn right next to you. It might take a couple of tries to get this down. You have to call the car while mid-air, but once you get the hang of this, you'll probably just use this for the rest of the game. I'm sure many of you out there already have been. If you have some double jump leg cyberware, you can use this to avoid fall damage. Simply use the second jump in mid-air after jumping off a ledge and it'll negate the fall damage you would typically get. It'll basically reset your landing distance from wherever you made that second jump. Although if you wait too long, you will not be able to use the double jump and you'll just fall down, go boom. If you're tired of having to constantly open the radio to switch channels while driving, you can alternatively just hit the radio key, that being the R key on PC or one of the bumper keys on consoles. Each time you hit the R key, you're going to cycle to the next radio station, and this is actually quite nice. As you're cruising around, you can just switch through all of the various stations to find the song that perfectly fits whatever you're doing. One of the best vehicles you can get very early on into Cyberpunk 2077 is Jackie's Ark. Immediately after finishing the prologue of the game, you'll get a quest called Heroes. This tasks you with calling Mama Wells, and this is a super short quest with no combat involved. And at the end of the quest, you will get Jackie's motorcycle as a reward, which has far superior performance compared to the default car you have. This is just great for getting around. It's a really cool looking motorcycle in general, and it's probably something you'll use throughout the entirety of the game. And if you are past the prologue in Cyberpunk, another hidden feature you could use is call Jackie from your phone. I won't spoil what happens here, but just give him a call. See what happens. If you're playing the game with a controller, holding the start key will automatically open the map. V's main apartment in Night City will get additional decorations as you complete certain quests. So if you pay attention to this, you'll notice things will evolve over time after completing major and minor story missions. If you're a new player or even just a returning player, hopefully this video served as a reminder of some of the very handy features that you should be taking advantage of. But get subscribed as a ton more is coming. With patch 2.0, CDPR incorporated a ton of surprise and hidden features. This ranging from totally new interactions with familiar NPCs to full-on new explorable areas, and even huge progress being made on Cyberpunk 2077's largest mystery. So again, get subscribed because content on all of that is coming this week. If you are excited for Phantom Liberty, you could get it for yourself using my GOG affiliate link down below, but if you still need convincing on the expansion, check out this video where I give my own review of Phantom Liberty.